Welcome to this week's St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting. The types of business that occur at these meetings include public hearings, official voting on actions by the Board of Commissioners, presentations by departments of the county, and recognition of service that makes our county great. As your elected representatives, the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners is committed to improving the lives of all our residents while preparing county government to meet the demands of the future. In order to do that, we need to share our thoughts and plans with you. More importantly, we need you to share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions with us. We encourage you to come and experience the process by attending any of these meetings. They occur every first and third Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. at the St. Clair County Administration Building at 200 Grand River Avenue in Port Huron.
We're going to call the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? The flag's located out here. Everyone there? Okay. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Heidemann.
Here.
Commissioner Graytop.
Here.
Commissioner Riley.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Samasco.
Here.
Commissioner Tamian.
Here.
Commissioner Chairperson Bone.
Here. Additions, deletions, changes to the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move that we delete the Michigan Association of Counties update. That's under new business A.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I move the approval of the agenda as amended.
Support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Meetings of previous minutes.
Mr. Chairman, at this time I would move that the minutes of 6/19/14 Commission meeting and the 7/2/14 Standing Committee meetings be approved and filed.
Support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
6, proclamations, item number A.
Mr. Chair,
Yep.
I would like to move that proclamation recognizing Sergeant William Trout be approved.
Support.
We're not going to read that, but Tom Riley and myself are going to be going to his retirement party tomorrow, which is at 6 o'clock in Marysville Legion, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody would like to attend, we'll give it to them there. So,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item 7, consent agenda.
Support.
Any discussion on any items on the consent agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 8, reports of standing and special committees. Start with Steve. Carl.
I am the Commission's representative on the QBS Committee for Parks and Recreation. Our commission before expressed the desire of the Parks and Recreation Commission to go through a review of qualified consultants and make a recommendation for consultants that would be used by Parks and Recreation over the next 3 to 5 year period. We had our first meeting last week. We'll have a second meeting next week, and then we'll be bringing a report back to the Board of Commissioners outlining the process and outlining which consultants we're requesting proposals for. And at that point, the Board of Commissioners, if they have some additional consultants that they'd like added to the process, you could do that. And then it would be our plan to then move forward, interview prospective consultants, and then come back to you and make a recommendation concerning who would be used for our projects in the near future.
Question for you on that. I know they had a very similar thing in place like that however many years ago. We made some tweaks to that, and they're looking to revisit that. Is what?
They've actually retained a representative from the Engineering Association, Architectural Engineering Association, who is leading us in a quality-based selection process, a QBS process, and I'll be bringing information to you about the criteria and the process that we plan to follow before we actually implement that process.
No different than when we went, for example, our landfill, when we went and received different bids and picked a particular.
Similar to the
yeah.
convention center management.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions at all for Carl on that? Howard?
Nothing to report at this time.
Mr. Greatop?
The ORV ordinance that we've been working on, we're going to have a public hearing at our next meeting, probably be August 7th. There'll be a public hearing first, followed by a discussion of that particular item on the judiciary and public safety. If it goes to the full board 2 weeks after that, it would be approved. Just a reminder, that's all.
Okay. David?
A couple things. ORV, I've talked with every supervisor in District 6 except Bill Wen. I'm playing phone tag with him. And we're going to need some revisions on that. Because currently, right now, the majority of townships in District 6 do not want the ORV the way it's written to be approved. And I've forwarded all the information that Bill Remenap for his concerns. So you have all the concerns there. And Bill's aware, Greatop's aware of it. The other item is just, we have Terry Gill here. We had an ITC, did a very nice presentation. I was able to go to her township, got an excellent township over there, and I appreciate that the meeting that they had there and the invite for everybody. So ITCC, that has to do with the new towers going through Wales, Columbus, and the various townships. Very nice meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Riley?
Yeah, the only, just one thing on the Department of Human Services. I got a couple flyers tonight. One is Adult Protective Services Program and Home Help Services, keeping people in their home. I'll give you some of those tonight. I'll leave them here, and you're welcome to take some. I brought some extras, so everybody's got some. They had quite a meeting on that. There's of course, a big issue. It's the same with Council on Aging as far as people staying in their own home and being able to take care of the seniors. So, and the Protective Services Program is a big deal. So, I'll leave those here for everybody to take.
Okay. I'm going to take a pass. We're going to move on to citizens wishing to address the board. I've got Terry Gill, 8168 Bricker Road, Greenwood, on solid waste. Yeah, right there.
I just have a couple of questions and some comments about amending the solid waste plan and about trying to get Canadian solid waste coming into the county. And I want to know what kind of tipping fees and what are they paying compared to what are we paying here in St. Clair County? Because I believe at that meeting we had of the supervisors out in the winter out at the landfill, you were saying that in January you're going to increase almost in St. Clair County $8 a ton. And at that same meeting you were saying you probably have to lower the rates in order to bring Canadian waste in. So what I want to know is what kind of prices are the Canadians going to be paying? And if you amend the solid waste plan to include bringing in waste from other counties in Michigan, what kind of prices are they going to pay? Because I don't think it's fair that the people in St. Clair County would pay more since the landfill really belongs to them.
Normally we don't respond, but I just talked to Tom Riley. What we're probably going to do is work on setting up a workshop here and actually do a public invite to come out and see the landfill, get an understanding about it, and talk about all the issues from A to Z here in the next, sometime in August. We'd like to put that together. Because I think there's, like anything, I think a lot of times there's more misinformation perhaps than, you know, you've been to a bunch of the meetings, Terry, I don't need to tell you, we've heard the whole landfills from you, so we can get those and ask all the questions, answers, so on and so forth. Bring the landfill consultants in, have our landfill director there, and, you know, go through it at that time.
Okay, so the only thing we know right now is with the consultant that you're hiring, it's 50 cents a ton for that.
The contract that we have in place tonight is well, we'll actually talk about that when we get to that at that time.
That's right, that's all I have then.
Yeah, thank you. Next one, Dan Bateman, 150 Pine River Road, Kimball. Topic, thank you for all you do. You sure you wrote that right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Good lead-in, Chairman. Again, I'm here on behalf of my wife also because we share the same view. But I just wanted to take a moment to express my appreciation to the board for all that you do. In a much smaller role, I served in an elected capacity, and you work very hard, you try to move things forward, and there is appreciation, but it's rarely expressed. I had a conversation with Chairman Bowman a while ago, that I fully intended to have this conversation many years ago. We moved to St. Clair County in 2007, and we found long ago, I'm a retired member of the Michigan State Police. When I was a trooper back in the 80s, I used to patrol in St. Clair County. Later in my career, I became the post commander for the Richmond Post, and on my authorized breaks, I would look around St. Clair County. I told Ann, one day we're going to live in St. Clair County. So in 2007, while I was still fully employed, we moved here knowing that we would retire. We have not been disappointed. In fact, you've exceeded our expectations. We're very happy to be residents of St. Clair County, proud of the work that you're doing to keep this county progressive and active. I also want to thank you for your support for one of the finest airports in Michigan. I am a pilot. I'm a member of a club that has a plane housed here. And this airport is essential in its role to economic growth of the county. I had personal appreciation for the care and management by Kathy Rham, the airport director, and she did not pay me to say that. I've flown to a lot of airports. Unless you've done that, I don't think you'd appreciate the gem that we have sitting right here. And now we're about to start some taxiway reconstruction. I know the funding is 90% federal and state 5%. St. Clair County is at $21,500 is 5% share. I want you to know that you couldn't have a better return on investment. If a city like Port Huron and a county like St. Clair expects any kind of growth, it has to have an airport such as this. So thank you very much for all that you do. You don't get a lot of thank yous. I know there are a lot of people that appreciate what you do, but maybe they don't take the time to say thank you. So again, I'm very happy. We plan to retire here. In fact, we bought a home right next to the old Mallory Cemetery. So we're here to stay. Thank you very much for all that you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Comments?
And our FBO is doing a great job too. That's a fixed base operator.
Okay, any other citizens wishing to address the board? Unfinished business, none before us. Item number 11, new business. We are going to go to our airport update. We have Kathy and we've got Brad, our FBO, here today. First of all, thanks for hosting us out here. It's kind of neat when we get a chance to do some of the traveling road shows, so to speak. We get to see different, different things. And
Actually, we're pleased to have, Brad and I both are pleased to have you here tonight. Thank you very much for coming out here. We wanted to kind of update you on the industrial park first to start with. As you both, everybody knows that there's one section of it is leased, the other section of it is for sale. So I kind of just had some poster boards here if you can see them, to explain to you that this is the leased side of the industrial park. Everything in the red is the leased side of the industrial park. We're about 3/4 full on the leased side, and they're a little bit difficult because obviously nobody's loaning on leased property anymore, but we're pretty successful in there. I did a survey yesterday. There's 198 employees employed in the industrial park alone of your industrial park, so that's a pretty substantial amount for an 80-acre parcel. The highlighted in the blue here is the lots that we've got a federal land release from the FAA in 2001 to actually be able to sell these lots. In the meantime, we've sold 3 to FedEx, Browns Aerospace, and Landmesser. So we've actually sold 5 lots in the industrial park. We've had a little bit of a challenge with arranging for a through-the-fence operations that the FAA requires through their federal land release. We've got that all settled. It's been approved by Mr. Fletcher, approved by the FAA, approved by the Office of Aeronautics. So we're ready to start marketing the airport industrial park again. I had lunch with a gentleman yesterday who has given us a verbal and on paper to a purchase agreement to purchase the first 2 lots here. This is the FedEx lots, and he's going to purchase these 2 lots here. I had him appraised per Bill's request, They came back in at the fair market value. He has a fleet of aircraft here. I'm not at liberty to tell you who it is at this point. But he has taken the through the fence agreement and the purchase agreement to his attorney, and then we'll bring it back to Mr. Fletcher. And then I probably should be bringing it to you probably by next month. So that obviously will help us with our 5% share each time that we have a project. So we're delighted with that. So that gives us 2 more here. These 2 we have options on, but they're still for sale. So that will give us 4 lots that we can still sell in the industrial park. Part of marketing, which we're going to talk about in a couple minutes, is part of marketing the industrial park is that if you knew we were a Michigan certified business park, they come every 3 years to inspect to make sure that we follow their standards, and they're coming August 8th. So we have a couple challenges over there we got to get done before August 8th, but we'll get them. But along with that, they have actually a great web page that you can advertise your industrial park on there. So now that we've got it updated, we've got our fair market value, everything's appraised, it's been surveyed, we can start targeting their web page through the Michigan Certified Business Park. So, like I said, I will be bringing you the sale of these 2 lots, hopefully next month at your board meeting. The next challenge is that the federal government, or the FAA, has basically through this is the confusing part. This is where they gave us a permission that we can actually sell these. So what we've been doing is we've been mandated that this section here, this X means no aircraft, that closes it off. We've had to fence this area. This area here will never be aviation. It's all going to have to be light industrial, anything in that manufacturing section. We still have to abide by the subdivision rules, but this section here will never be aviation. So the plan through the marketing plan that we have is to start working with the EDA to kind of let them know what we do have out here. It's been quite the challenge. It's been probably over a year, hasn't it, Bill, to get this through the fence stuff settled. So now that it's settled, we do have the ability to start marketing, but this section here, which is all open field, is a nice area to start targeting for sales or for the lease. But these can be sold, but no aviation whatsoever on those lots there. Next item we had was that we have
Kathy,
been.
can I back you up for just one
sorry.
second? You kept using the term "through the fence."
Through the fence means aviation, an aircraft through the fence. So that through the fence meaning aviation use. Okay. So basically what it means is that this will never have, you will not have access to your lot via the airport. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay. There's a lot of issues with through the fence because there's been a lot of things like security-wise and things like that. So the FAA has really doubled down on that kind of thing. So that's why they want the extra agreement. I shouldn't say we, but I have to say that Blake Cunningham, Chris Morris, and myself and Brad have been working on developing the webpage. The airport has never had its own webpage with the communications. We just had your county webpage. So this is just a mock-up that Blake has made just so that you can get the gist of how it will actually come up at the end. We believe at this point we have the links that we need to basically provide every service that they're going to need coming in or out. We've got the past, the future, all the contact information, the weather, everything will be on here. So that basically we'll have our own webpage now, so which is fabulous. A couple of things that we put out there too is that we never had an accident area for emergencies for our construction project that's going on. This is actually really well. So it looks really nice. We're going to meet next week with Bob Child to start putting the information into the links and then go live with it. But we kind of tried to go with meets green colors and kind of stick with the same colors so that it rolls together. So I think I'm really pleased with it. It was really nice.
I can't see it from here, Kathy,
Oh.
so you'll have to bear with me. But one of the links, is there a link to the Air Industrial Park?
Yes. And that's where we'll put the Michigan Business,
Okay.
the Certified Business Park, and along with the sale and, with that more than information. But yes, there is. So it looks nice, I think. Weather, everything will be on there. So next we had was we've basically been working on and marketing the airport as you know, from the investment that you spent in the airport almost a year ago, 2 weeks from now. we've been here a year. We've actually accomplished an awful lot in a year. We're still not done. We're still rolling with it, but we do have a lot of stuff done, and that's why we're glad you're here today. As far as the marketing plan is concerned, basically this is just a little bit of a phase one, and I don't know if you can see it, but maybe you can see it afterwards. We're going to start basically, the webpage is a great start for the marketing plan. There's a lot of things like that are all aviation industrial standard web pages, like we had talked about before. There's the AirNav, the track pack, which I have a brochure on your table there, which I think Brad can explain that a little bit later. Chris Morris has developed, which we there again needed desperately, was the brochures that are in front of you for the hangar rental space that we have, the office rental space that we have, aircraft rental space. The brochures basically pass out for mailings, for emailings, to Aviation Express has been emailing your receipt. So along with the email receipt, they can send in a thank you along with it. And what we'll do is put the brochure inside along with that, so that anybody that has purchased fuel from us, handed an aircraft or anything that will get our brochures as part of our marketing tool. And there again, that's part of the marketing standard. Let's see, she's got it here. Like I said, the rental space, what we're going to do is Chris wants to put out a press release after we get our webpage and all the stuff online. We've got all the flyers from potential for anybody that has all the users, all the tenants, and the potential tenants that we have here on the airfield. The brochures were basically, we can start kind of targeting people that are here in the county, if they're again out of the county also. So with the track pack system that Brad will explain to you, we can actually target one particular aircraft and basically track where they can go and where they go, and we can try to target them to come here pilot-wise. And there's again, we've never had a brochure for customers down here. It's basically telling what we have and what we don't have. For the previous ones are for anybody who would vote with all the information on this, so that's what we're talking about. Rental space, we've never had an advertisement for the rental space. So this is what we're talking about. That we'll have that now. The flyers here, the flyers friends of the airport. The training center, the yellow training center, and I'd like to invite you to tour that before we leave tonight. We're going to call it the Aviation Training Center. Basically, conference area, training center. We're going to try to kind of merge everybody together and try to get a flight training center out of there. That would be our goal, is out of the flight training center. Obviously, the civil air control needs, we've got 32 cadets, so they're going to be using along with the Experimental Airline Association. We've actually had several calls recently for the conference area, so now that we've got it up and running, that's going to work out very well for us. Basically advertising-wise, I know it doesn't seem like much, but Shell does give us a half a penny for every gallon of fuel that we pump. And I think we've got like $90 already. I know it sounds simple, but that's $90 for an ad in one of our aviation magazines. So that kind of type things, the things that we can kind of start to target and move forward on. We are going to be aggressive with this because of the investment that you had, and obviously we're ready to move forward. So we are going to get aggressive with our marketing plan. That basically we can stay competitive with the other airports, and so far we've been doing real well staying competitive with fuel pricing. So that's been a great asset for us. One of the things that I think is kind of a dying, aviation is kind of a dying art. So we figured if we started marketing high schools, middle schools, the colleges, that kind of thing, to try to get that youth out here to start learning how to fly. There again, with flight school, that would entice them. So we're going to basically start targeting the high schools, the colleges, that kind of thing, to start to try to spark some of the youth to come basically learn to fly. So let's see. One of the other things that I've been working on is that you know that we are an international transatlantic flight, meaning that we can take regulated trash here. And we have a based aircraft here now that has a home in Canaan. So he's been using our regulated trash quite often, actually. So we just got recertified to accept regulated trash. We're good on that through the USDA, the Agriculture Department. So we're set on that. So that there again will target us to draw more traffic too, because they know that we can house that. We also, part of the marketing plan is we're trying to think of a name. A lot of airports, a lot of general aviation airports, like which we are, have a tagline of some type. You know, it's like basically what are we known for? What are we? You know, a lot of airports are called, you know, I don't know, just goofy little things. But we really don't have something that we're known for, a tagline type thing. So Chris and I came up with the idea to basically have a contest and see from the community, have a little community awareness, maybe send it to the schools, they kind of maybe come up with a little bit of a tagline for our airport. So we're going to work on that in the next near future. I wanted to also let you know as part of our marketing thing that October 20th of 2016, your airport will be 65 years old. So we kind of were trying to come up with, maybe we could have your help, is to come up with some type of a plan to celebrate that for, you know, within the community and the airport here itself. So there again, there's another goal that we have, but 65 years is fabulous, and look where we're at. So I just wanted to also update you. We have 99 based aircraft up here today, as of today. We've received 3 new aircraft just this month alone. 1 was corporate and 2 are general aviation. So that's a nice moving forward for us. Bill had asked that we basically give you a financial report, which this comes off of Total FBO, which is a point of sale system that Aviation Express uses for basically all your sales go through here. So if you look at your first page of this form here, I'll kind of lightly explain it to you so we get it in this. First page basically is telling you that we sold to this point, from August 1st when we signed the contract, when we signed the contract with Aviation Express, to today, we sold 93,000 gallons of fuel. The goal was 108, and we're at 93. Keep in mind that the next 2 weeks is Oshkosh, which is the busiest time of the year here at the airport. So we should be basically right on track from the end of August. So that was a, you know, we kind of tried to hope to get a little bit more, but we're still on track. We've kept fuel prices competitive, and we haven't had to raise the prices to move forward on any of it. So that's a plus. The second page is 2014's financial report. And this is just basically for Aviation Express. It's not any of the old hangar rentals, anything in that you have, but this is basically just the Aviation Express. So you'll see that at the top, the fuel sales so far have been $250,000, oil sales, hangar revenue, $3,200, landing fees, $2,000, handling charges, which these are all new revenue that we had discussed before. So basically, the revenue that they brought in is $260,556. So with that being said, then the cost of the next line will be the cost of the fuel, cost of the goods, however you want to call it, is $183,000. So the gross profit that Aviation Express has brought to the county in 2014 to date, as of yesterday, Brad? Yes, yesterday, is $76,734. Now that's not including your utilities and things like that to actually run the building. Basically, that is the fuel sales, the handling fees, the hangar revenue that you receive out of here, the landing fees, and the handling charges. So again, we never had before. I do want to add to that $76,000 that since the corporate hangar now is available for aircraft storage, which comes through my books, not Brett's. That's why that's not in here. But we have taken $6,600 out of the big corporate hangar since that has become available to use for aircraft. That's substantial for about 3 months. So we've been really doing real well with the corporate hangars. That's nice. So there again, I just want to reiterate that this is not the expenses for the utilities or anything for the building, but the $76,000 is
is the gross profit for 2014 for Aviation Express. Does anybody have any questions on that? The last page, basically, I just kind of, it was a little bit confusing, but I kind of wanted to point out to you that since August 1st of 2013 to today, current, the monies that have the cash only, and that's not expenses of any kind, it's not even expensive of fuel, but the cash collected by Aviation Express, this is sales only, it's been $500,000, and that's, there again, all the fuel, the ramp fees, the handling fees, the landing fees. So a substantial amount of sales have rolled through here since August of, well, basically one full year. There again, it doesn't include expenses, utility expenses, and fuel expenses. But I just kind of wanted to point out that the amount of sales that are rolling through here we're growing, and it feels wonderful. So I don't have any questions on any of that.
Any questions for any commissioners?
The only comment I would have is I see a tremendous difference in the last couple of years. There's not any question about that.
It really is.
Yes.
We've actually jumped leaps and bounds in 1 year. To give us one more, we'll be really hard. So, I don't, Brad, did you want to explain that track page? Did you want any questions?
I was going to just make a couple comments
Okay.
because been on the board obviously 10 years. Went out for FBO searches 3 different occasions. First 2 times we didn't really find anybody that we really felt that could help take the county to the next level. I mean, I think everybody on this board views this airport as an asset, you know, a tremendous asset. And, you know, we always struggle to, you know, how do we get it to that next level? And Brad, you know, I commend you for jumping on board with us and helping us get in that direction. I obviously, local guy, know a lot of the pilots that are here locally that fly and hearing nothing but good things about the facilities today. And it takes a little bit of a while to change that perception around, but I know we're really moving it in the right direction.
Just to reiterate, Jeff, I've been on the board 8 years, and the airport, when I came on, had issues, and previous boards had invested in the airport. The airport had a reputation issue, it had some service issues, it had physical plant issues, and what's happening today is really the result of what was put in place by the previous boards and this board. Our FBO, I think, is doing a good job. The numbers have turned around, and by some of the comments you provided from some of the users of the airport. We've seen the new building, we've moved the emergency management out here. I like the direction it's going, and I think it's going to really help make this a productive and valuable asset for the community. And there's a cost involved, but at this point, we're supporting the board to continue that, and I hope it keeps going in that direction.
Howard?
I'd like to make a comment about the marketing to our teens in the area, opportunities in aviation. I think I read recently where previously all of the commercial airlines were getting their fixed wing pilots through the military. And the military is moving away from fixed wing, and so there's a great opportunity if a young person wants to go get that kind of training for commercial. And I commend you for, you know, marketing that part of it to our
That's the
young
type of thing
people.
we do need to create awareness with, and we do need to get that 16, 17, that 15-year-old that basically, if you get that spark at the aviation spark, then
Back when I was a scoutmaster, this was a long time ago, we were out here and did the aviation marathon.
oh, did you?
Yeah, and the boys just had a fantastic time.
We
And by
actually
the
did
way,
too.
I've been on board 12 years, and what I see going on out here is night and day.
Thank you. And it feels wonderful.
Mr. Rushing.
About 20 seconds. Just comparison, since I've been on the board, but from 1 year to today, it's a really bright area for the county, the airport. And really appreciate your efforts, our new FBO. It's a big plus that the county has had since in the last year.
Mr. Greatown?
Going back to your 65th anniversary, how about Brad sells fuel for 65 cents a gallon?
That's your call.
I was going to say I do have 3 commissioners older in this airport, but Just one last comment I wanted to make. I did get a chance to get the other commissioners through the yellow building to take a look at that earlier. We had a situation, I don't even call it a good situation, but we had, 3 corporate planes in here last week, and we didn't have enough room for our pilots in the pilot lounge over here. And a couple of them, you said, had to go shack up in the plane and catch some Z's. So we could probably put a few chairs in over one of those rooms and do a little bit of something, just to do a small little thing for those, because essentially the pilots dictate where these planes land and where they don't land. They're the ones. So you need to, you got to do your best to accommodate them a little bit. So I'm sure Bill will talk to you about, can you throw in a couple chairs or something in those couple of empty rooms over there.
I'd also like to, the sheriff department was gracious enough to give us a courtesy van. I was going to call it a paddy wagon, but I'll call it a courtesy van. And we'd actually like, if you have time tonight, we'd actually like to you to tour the airport in our paddy wagon. I know some of you have already toured through the aviation training center, but you'll see that we cleaned up the hangar tremendously. We cleaned up the corporate hangar tremendously. It does. It actually looks very nice. It's coming around nice. So if you have time to tour it, we'd sure like to.
Mr. Riley?
I wasn't going to say this, but now that you brought up age, I will. I grew up on Gratiot over there, and I'm going back, and I'm not going to tell you how many years, but I can tell you what this airport was like.
Was it paved? Was Gratiot paved?
Right. Yeah. That's before we had I-94, we put it that way. But I can remember many times Huntington, the back section, the airport today, anybody that lived back there and seen what it is today, what has happened, it's unbelievable how much progress we've made over here. And as Dave said, and I certainly agree, the last year, 2 years, it was tremendous. Personnel and all around. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay. I think we're good. We're going to move on. Item number C, approval of county disbursements for June of 2014.
At this time, I'd like to move to approve county disbursements of June 2014 in the amount of $9,740,647.36.
Any discussion? All in favor, or roll call?
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Samansco?
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bone?
Yes. Item number D, the retirement policy.
Instead, I would move to approve retirement policy as presented under item 11D.
Support.
Discussion. Carl?
When this policy was being considered for, our administrator said that it was going to provide an opportunity for the retirement board and other interested parties to comment on it. I wonder if you could give us an update if we've received any comments before we vote on this.
We have received no comments. And basically what the policy does is bring the county's policy in line with the county's ordinance. So we really didn't expect to receive any comments because all of these changes are already in effect. So no comments received.
The opportunity for commentary.
Yes, it was.
Okay, anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Moving on, item number E, the Area Agency Aging 1B Annual Implementation Plan.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we adopt Resolution 1431, approving the Area Agency on Aging 1B Annual Implementation Plan.
Support.
Discussion on any of this? Roll call?
Commissioner Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Samansco?
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bone?
Yes. Item F, the Parks and Recreation Commission Alternative Appointment, District 6 and 7.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we appoint Cindy Babish to the Parks and Recreation Commission as an alternate for District 6 and 7 for the remainder of a 3-year term expiring 12/31/2015.
Support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Item number G, the waste brokerage agreement with Intertech.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the commission approve the Canadian Waste Brokerage Agreement with Intertech Incorporated for a 3-year term expiring July 17, 2017.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Going to make some comments on this and talk a little bit about this. We had been talking about trash volumes. In 2003, our trash volumes at our landfill were 362,000 tons to where we're at today, roughly in the 170,000 ton neighborhood. As many of you know, we're doing expansion on the bioreactor. We were just out there the other day. Actually, Nick with the Times Herald went out with me. We're going to be doing that next additional cell. Part of the bioreactor process and part of the waste streams that we're looking from Canada is highly organic material that we're looking for. Food waste product is actually the things that probably work the best. They break down very quick, they produce a lot of methane, they continue to turn the generators with the generation that we have the contract with DT. So when people talk about Canadian waste streams, we're not just taking, like I like to say, any old Canadian waste. We're taking very specific waste streams that work very well in our bioreactor, okay? And we've got obviously a major investment. And ironically, the fuel that feeds the bioreactor is specific waste, not construction and demo waste, but highly organic waste. So you, essentially Intertech is going out soliciting different waste streams from very specific companies that provide that specific waste stream that we're looking for. They are getting paid a 50 cents commission on that. If you don't have, essentially, are they a salesperson for us, a broker, call it whatever you want. We don't have anybody here at the county that has that ability to go over and do that. The person that runs this company actually does business over in the U.S. He's a Canadian fella, so he has a lot of connections over in Canada. Very well known in the industry. James Logston, our consultant, who we brought on board, has dealt with him, knows him very well. And we've actually had him soliciting some of the Canadian waste streams for probably over at least, I know it's been well over a year. It's just not that easy to get those particular contracts. We are not bringing in any additional trucks, so to speak. Everybody says, well, you're bringing in more truck traffic. This is waste that is already coming into the U.S. We're just diverting. Currently, we're accepting 5 trucks per day of waste, no more than 12. We're not looking to go back to any levels that exceeds the volume that we were at. I remind you, we were at 362,000 back in 2003. We're at 170 today. The amount of truck traffic, we've got all the truck counts. People say you're going to have a lot more truck coming down. The truck traffic count on Smiths Creek Road is way down now. So an additional 5 trucks, no more than 12 per day, is really what our target number is. We're not looking to turn this thing into the next Lenox Township, the 5th largest landfill in the country. So we're just trying to maintain that volume. We're trying to get a specific waste stream that works very well in our bioreactor, because our bioreactor works very well, and it's been proven. Steve?
Just make some comment. Terry Gill came to talk about and ask questions about the waste stream. In District 1, people, general reaction to foreign trash is negative. But what I've learned on the commission, and historically, back in the early 80s, I was, the Corporation Council was through the prosecutor's office in about Cleveland, and I was appointed to the Solid Waste Management Committee for the enforcement mechanism to keep trash out. We had litigation with the Federal Landfill. We went to the U.S. Supreme Court. We fought tooth and nail to keep trash out of the county landfill because there was no positive attribute to foreign trash. But given our contracts with Detroit Edison for the energy we produce with the bioreactor, our investment with the bioreactor, and the very measured approach that this board takes, that's, I hope, is the message that people get, is that there's a measured approach. We're taking 5 trucks because we can use it, or 12. We're sensitive to the traffic in the Smiths Creek area. So I come in from my district, sometimes I take 69, and Jeff is correct. The trucks just drive right by us, they drive right past us, they're still on our roads, we still have all the same issues. We still tip over and we clean them up. But it's not basically to make a measured approach and make it work for our overall philosophy for waste energy and some income revenue stream for the county, which we need. So that's the background.
Any other comments or questions on anything? Roll call? Oh, yeah, we'll do roll call, please.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco? Yes. Commissioner Tamian? Yes. Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Riley? Yes. Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item H, 2014 general fund budget adjustments.
This time I'd like to move to approve the 2014 general fund budget adjustments.
Support?
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item number I, the landfill manning restructure.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the restructuring of the landfill manning table as follows. Add an office manager full-time, add a landfill attendant part-time, eliminate landfill attendant 2 full-time, and reduce account clerk 2 from full-time to part-time.
Support.
Discussion? Let's do a roll call on this.
Commissioner Tamian?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item J, the manning table for the human resources.
Mr. Chairman, I move that there be the addition of one HR specialist full-time to the human resource manning table.
Support?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item K, resolution 14-32.
This time I would move to adopt resolutions 1432, 1433, 1434, 1435, 1436, referencing extending collective bargaining agreements to coincide with calendar year expirations of contracts.
Second. Oh, Carl.
Basically, what these contract extensions do then is align these contracts with all the other contracts that we have, so they're all expiring at approximately the same time. Yes. Thank you.
Steve.
Just to point the record, there's no additional cost to the county, to the general fund. Contracts would have existed in some form regardless.
Correct. The effort is really designed to help us better manage our expenses and line it up with our annual budget adoption.
Okay, anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Moving on to item number P, the Intervention Center Mental Health Coordination Agreement. We've got Captain Bliss here if there's any questions.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would move to approve Amendment 3 to the Intervention Center Mental Health Coordination Agreement with Community Mental Health, increasing the total agreement amount by $20,409.
Tom, would you like to make any comments, or are you all set?
I've got a different figure. You said 20,000?
20,409.
23,639.
23,639.
Yeah, I think the confusion came when the first addendum was sent. It had bad figures.
Okay, will you accept that change on that number? on the
Carrie, is that a
motion?
good number then? All right, then I would amend my motion to show 23,639.
6:50.
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Tamian?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item Q, the Investment Advisory Consultant Agreement for Retirement Board.
This time I'd like to move to approve the agreement between Asset Strategies Portfolio Services Incorporated and the St. Clair County Retirement Board for investment consulting services for a 3-year term expiring 3/31 of 2017.
Support?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco? Commissioner Tamian?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item number 12, the Administrator's Report.
Thank you. Let me make a couple of quick comments regarding the airport since we're here. First of all, I want you to all hopefully recall there were a great deal of challenges that we had to overcome to accomplish some of the approvals that we needed from MDOT Aviation as well as the FAA with the airport industrial park. They were very concerned about the release of that for non-aviation purposes as well as some security issues with access to the runway. So it's taken several years to get that through, a lot of trips to Lansing, a lot of conference calls with the feds, and finally it has been approved. And we hope that we'll be able to see a lot more activity out at the industrial park as a result. Ran into some of the same challenges in moving the aviation training facility here, but finally we're able to get through those with MDOT Aviation, and as a result it's ready to be open. It's available for service. So just to let you know, it takes a long time sometimes to get these things done, but eventually they do happen. I did receive a thank you letter from an ex-employee of the airport, someone that worked here back in 2010 and 2011. Wanted to thank us for the opportunity to learn everything that he did while he was here. He was a veteran of the Coast Guard, came here, spent some time working at the airport, working for Kathy. Wanted to thank Kathy for the opportunity that she provided him. He is now working for the FAA, currently out west, and he wanted to let us know that he appreciated the opportunity that we gave him and all that he has learned, and credit his ability to work for the FAA for the time that he spent here. So thank you, Kathy. On the 21st of July, there is a Enbridge progress meeting at the Marysville City Hall. I believe most all of you received a notice on that. If we can send you out a reminder, just in case you missed that. 2 o'clock at Marysville City Hall. Enbridge, as you know, is running a pipeline across the entire county. A lot of the work right now is on the eastern end of the county that's going on, and if you want to learn a little bit more about how the project will end up, you may want to attend that at the City Hall. You should have received in the mail, or pardon, your email, the monthly park meeting progress report and highlight or summary of what went on at their meeting on the 9th of July. Hopefully you're taking a look at those. That's an effort on their part to stay in closer touch with the Board of Commissioners and let you know what is happening. They're always quick reads, but it does give you a little bit of information of what went on, and if you want more information, you can certainly get it from them. Carrie and I spent some time working with a staff person that assists the Commission on Aging to talk about their budget and their financial planning. As you may know, their millage is up for renewal this year. They do submit an annual budget to the county and to you for approval before their millage funds are dispersed. We did spend some time talking about long-term planning for the use of those funds and to ensure that some of the services they provide will remain. One of their biggest challenges right now is their federal match dollars. The federal government has not renewed their bills associated with funding our match. So they're planning accordingly, and as necessary, they make cutbacks in some of the programs that they offer to ensure that they do not overexpend and have a little bit of a cushion there just in case they need it for some type of an emergency project. If you'd like to know a little bit more about their budget, please feel free to get in touch with myself or with Carrie, and we can share that information with you. On your agenda tonight was some correspondence on CGAP round 2. As you may recall, the Health Department has been working with our lobbyist on putting together a CGAP grant through the State Department of Treasury to help explore opportunities for collaboration with some of the surrounding counties on delivery of health department services. We were turned down on our first grant application. We resubmitted it, kind of tweaked the grant application a little bit, resubmitted it, and last week we received a notice that we're still in contention. They just wanted a little bit more information explaining what it is we expect to accomplish, a very succinct, let's say, end statement. That will be sent in tomorrow. Our lobbying firm coordinated the development of that statement with the health department and a number of other entities that they're working with. We'll get that in tomorrow. That's for a $42,000 grant, and hopefully will help us identify opportunities for cost savings on delivering services.
On that bill, was SFA involved with that, and the grant writing person?
Yes, they were. Yes, Mr. John Kirk, very much involved in that. Yes. We do want to give you a short update on the county budget and where things stand, and if you don't mind, I'll turn it over to Carrie and she can share that information with you.
I started meeting with departments to discuss their 2015 budget, and as of right now, there's been a few challenges that have come up, some recent rulings that have some of our revenues in question. There was a court ruling about the ability to charge court costs, so I've been working with both of the court administrators to determine what that impact is going to be to our budget this year and next year. And we're still working through that, but we do anticipate, or we do know that it will increase our projected shortfall for next year at this time. So we're working through trying to come up with a good number based on what we know today, but they have very little information right now too. There was another ruling this year by the FCC on the rate we're allowed to charge for collect phone calls at our intervention center. That's also affecting our revenues for this year and for next year. So we have a couple challenges that have come up. I have made quite a bit of progress with the departments I'm meeting with, and I'm still confident that we will be able to work together and present a balanced budget here sometime in September.
I'm assuming we're going to do the process like we did last year, let you and Carrie work with the department heads, and
Yes.
okay. I got to commend you. I got to tell the story a million times. I've been around 10 years, and boy, some of them early budget battles were less than fun. Everyone walked out of the room with a red face and high blood pressure, so you guys get it straight like you did last year. You guys did a great job, so.
Well, Carrie,
I just have one question. Any word in terms of state revenue sharing?
Yes, right now, we're expecting to receive the full $3.7 million next year of revenue sharing. The state hasn't posted the final amount on their website, but I've been told by the Department of Treasury that it's going to be very close to the governor's recommendation. So that's what we're going with right now in the budget.
And the other question is, we're going to have to wait till after the August primary to find out what happens with the personal property business tax.
Yes.
Bill.
The personal property tax would be neutral revenue for us, though. I mean, if it passes, it's not going to affect us. If this doesn't pass, it still wouldn't affect us, or would it?
It's not supposed to, as the legislation is written now. If the election fails and new legislation is introduced prior to year end, then I guess anything can happen.
Okay. And the second question I had was, this court cost piece that's in there, that can be remedied through legislation. And I guess my question is, are we working with our state legislature to get to a fast recovery on this thing? Because as I understand it, even if they go into a quick session and get it done, we're still going to lose up to a quarter of our annual money.
Yes, it's pretty early. The ruling within the last 30 days. So we've been trying to get our handle on the impact first so we can talk with our legislators and say, this is the effect it's going to have in St. Clair County and work on what a fix to that.
And we're treating that with no retroactivity
Correct.
from the ruling forward, but nothing going back.
Correct.
Okay.
On that point, Bill, the court system can shift some of their cost assessment to probation oversight costs and things of that nature away from the fine and cost component. And the other thing that our current county courts do not presently do, and historically have not done, is assess costs of prosecution that are allowed by statute. Because I thought that would be a very easy fix on a good portion of those alcohol-related offenses, because they do provide the cost of prosecution. It's just call it cost of prosecution. The other thing I inquired about, I don't know if anyone looked at it, was why can't the county adopt an ordinance and have our start doing what the cities do and prosecute some of these penal code cases or traffic code violations as a county violation and keep all the fines and costs? Because my fear is that if it goes to Lansing, they'll say, we're going to fix it, boys. Here's your fix. It's all in place, but they're going to send it to us and we're going to send it to you, and we'll never see it. Just like some of the other stuff that goes on in Lansing. So, I guess that's all I said. Those are my concerns.
We have been talking, right after this ruling came out, we began talking with our legislators and let them know what our concerns are. Unfortunately, there are 83 counties that are all struggling with how do we resolve this and what will the impact on our court systems and our revenues be. And presently there's not one agency that's coordinating all of this input and all of this discussion. Now, our court administrators do participate in blogs and talk groups on the internet where their peers are talking and sharing ideas. But one of the challenges we have is there are so many statutes out there that need to be researched to see what they say, and the fear is that, as Commissioner Samasco just said, is that something might be done in Lansing that someone thinks is a fix, and all of a sudden it's discovered it's not necessarily so. We just learned yesterday, when Carrie was meeting with the administrators, that this issue of retroactivity is something that now has been challenged in the courts as well. So depending on how that comes out, that certainly could have an even bigger financial impact on the county. So she's been meeting very regularly with the court administrators. They're learning everything they can from Lansing as well as from their peers around the state, and hopefully, we believe probably in late August, early September, we'll have some recommendations that we can share with our legislators.
One last comment I want to, we've been talking about budget stuff because I've been talking about it quite a bit. Look at 2009 when we were roughly $62 million, at 2014 approximately $54 million budget, a 12% reduction in revenues, and throughout that period we actually increased our fund balance. In 2009 we were at 14.28% fund balance. Here at the end of 2013 it was 17 point, I think it's 2.2, somewhere in that range, and we've been able to maintain our strong bond rating in really bad economic times. And I commend you guys for doing what you do, and I commend the Board of Commissioners for having to make those necessary changes, because those decisions are tough, but as things continue, we're getting close to the bottom, hopefully, and as we get there, when things come back, we're going to be in, hopefully in pretty good shape to take that rebound with it too.
So. The last thing I want to mention is give you a quick update on what's going on with the convention center. As some of you, as all of you I think know, one of our biggest concerns has always been, what are we going to find when we start digging for foundations and trenches and footings for the building. And so far we've had pretty good luck, although we have run into a few surprises. So far the most expensive item we've run into is about $850, and we were glad it stayed that low. We believe that we have located in the northwest corner the foundation for the smokestack that used to exist there for Peerless Cement. Exactly how much of it must be removed and how costly that will be, we don't really know right now. We have a general idea from the contractor that's been out there. We do have some issues with the utility lines that are right there. We've come up with a solution to fix the problem that will allow us to put the foundation in, and that's very, very inexpensive. But in order to do that, it looks like what we're going to have to do is temporarily disconnect a utility line that's not active yet. It won't be active until the convention center goes online. And our contractors are working very closely with the city of Port Huron to coordinate that work. And hopefully the next time we get together and I give you a status report, I'll be able to tell you how much that particular obstacle ended up costing us. But once we get out of the ground, and hopefully we'll be out of the ground within the next probably 10 days, we expect that by mid-August, the precast walls will show up on site. Shortly after that, in September, early September, we expect the steel to start showing up, and the cranes will be there in mid-August to start lifting the walls, and then they'll stick around to actually put the steel on, and then the roof will go on, and hopefully we will be closed in before the weather goes bad in the fall.
Great, Tom.
Bill, how much of a contingency did we build into this entire budget when we started it?
We had somewhere close to $300,000.
300
contingency.
Okay,
Thank you. Just under 300.
Okay.
You haven't got an opportunity to be part of. Carl, Tom, Howard, myself have been part of the change order committees at different times, 3 commissioners, and I think if you guys would like to talk a little bit about how that is working and how comfortable you feel. And Carl, you've been around this racket a long time.
One of the things that I've been very impressed with is our construction managers, Orion, and after we received favorable bids, one of the things that they did in terms of value engineering is they sat down with contractors and said, we have this favorable bid, but do you have any ideas about how we could save more money? Are there other materials that could be used? Are there other methodologies we could use? And they've come up with a lot of savings actually for the change orders that we've seen have almost all been offset. Additions have been offset by savings that they've found through the value engineering. So I think it's been a very, very successful process to date.
Yeah, out of the 4 different change order meetings, with all the stuff, it's about $6,000 is where we're tracking so far in change orders. And there's been a lot of different items, so money in, money out, working on our behalf. It's been very solid.
The other part that I like follows up on what Carl was talking about. By working with them and the contractors, there have been a couple instances where they've made suggestions where I think in the end it's going to enhance the appearance of the convention center. One in particular was a masonry wall, and to stud it out with steel studs and cover it with drywall, give it a really finished look.
I guess that increased my that not only the value engineering will save money on the construction, but they've come up with ideas that will decrease the operating cost of the convention center going forward, which I found to be very innovative.
Okay.
Tom,
you want to?
Yeah, well, I agree with what Howard said too. And I think the big thing is with that, like for instance, that's the cement walls and that's an idea that came up from those guys meeting. And the contractors, one of the things that I was real pleased with is the contractors are really getting along well together. I mean, a lot of times they don't have that. There's cooperation there, but in doing that cooperation, you come up with ideas to save money. You got to make a change. But I like the idea that we're on top of where we are monthly. Sometimes less than that, sometimes more, depending on put the good side, the bad side, but we're staying where we want to. We know what's going on, and we're not over budget. And I'm pleased with the way it's being handled.
Okay. You have anything else on it? Motion to receive the administrator's report.
I would so move.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, miscellaneous business, none before us. Receive and file.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjournment.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this week's St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting. Your St. Clair County Commissioners broadcast these meetings on Comcast Local Access Channel 12 every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. If you have any questions on any part of this program, please feel free to contact your St. Clair County Board of Commissioners or staff. You can find their contact information, the meeting agenda, and videos of the meetings at www.stclaircounty.org.